Hey everyone, it's Matt. I'm on a little bit early, but I just wanted to give a shout out. I see a few of you are rolling in, as you'd imagine, for one of these niche type webinars. We're not expecting a ton of you on today, but I know at least we had about 26. Last I looked, 26 to 30 signups. So good little turnout for one of these. One of my better turnouts for one of these. So here's what I'll tell you. We've got the video is, yep, cool. We're live on there. So if you're over in the chat box, if you can hear me, if you could just type in that you can hear me when you hear this message, and I will be right back. I will give you forewarning. I'll probably mention this again in just a little bit. It's a beautiful day here in Fort Wayne. And we don't have many Fort Wayne, Indiana. We don't have many of those beautiful days left. So I've got the window open in my office. I'm about probably 150 to 200 feet from a really busy road. So if you do hear like a motorcycle go by, sorry, but it's too gorgeous outside to keep the window down. So I'm going to keep that open today because it's awesome out. But hey, we're going to talk about how to make this your best promo ever. I'm going to silence myself for just a minute and we'll get kick started right at 4 o'clock Eastern sharp. Again, if you can hear me, let me know over in the chat box that you can hear me all right, and we're rocking on the audio. Always like to make sure you guys can hear me out there. Hey Scott, I see you over there in the chat box in Central Washington, where it's probably a lot nicer than it is here even. But we'll get started here in just a minute. Again, if you can let me know you can hear me. Thanks so much. All right, y'all, we're going to get started here. Well, again, today's topic is how to make this your best promo ever. And by your best promo ever, I'm talking about specifically as an affiliate. You know, I'm sure most of you on here have promoted other things in the past, and we want to help you. Our goal with this is to, you know, throughout, not just this webinar, but our goal today, our goal tomorrow, our goal next week and the week after, all the way through. And we'll talk about the calendar as we get going. Our goal with this is to make this your best promo ever. That means, you know, that you have the most number of sales, the highest commissions, that you have the best impact with your audience, you know, that you're having the most influence with them. There's all types of ways we can measure what would make this my best promo ever. You know, for some of you, that might be your first sale, you know, your first $1,000, your first $10,000. Maybe for some of you, this can be your first six-figure, you know, affiliate promo, or a 5-figure affiliate promo. You know, whatever it is, our goal here is to help make this your best one. So the first thing I'll say is, you know, make us a resource. You know, me and Mark on my team, Ray himself, you know, we're all resources for you. So what are we going to cover today? 5 things, as you can see. We're going to talk about the promotional calendar real quick. We're going to talk about promotional methods and tips. That's going to be the bulk of what we talk about today. We're also going to talk about the affiliate system. I'm going to give you a quick rundown of the affiliate system, just give you a quick tour, show you where you can find everything. And then we're going to take some questions, any questions you have, and the always popular much, much more. I have no idea what the much, much more is, but we'll probably talk about it. So anyway, that's what we're going to talk about. First, the promo calendar. As you guys know, right now we're in the pre-launch warm-up, as we call it. This is something that is kind of newer to some of you. I've had a lot of questions about that. Like, what do you mean by pre-launch? Is that a typo? It's not a typo. It's basically, as you can see, on October 6th, next Tuesday, we're going into the pre-launch phase. This is something you're familiar with if you've followed anybody who's done a launch. Jeff Walker obviously just had the big PLF one. Actually signed up for that for the first time. Even though I know some of the trainers and I know a lot of the material, I feel like, I really need to actually go through the course. So I'm going to be going through that soon myself. But next Tuesday is the big day. That's the most important day other than cart open and cart close, really. But right now what we're doing is we're kind of planting the seeds. So this is a great way to introduce your audience to Ray, get them to kind of see that name, Ray Edwards. It kind of primes your audience for the subject matter. It gets the word copywriting on the forefront of their mind, gets them thinking about it. Why is this important? Well, how, I could never be a copywriter. Well, we're not asking you to be a professional copywriter if you want to buy this course. We're just asking you to get better at it so you can sell more of your stuff. And then the other thing is the links that we send you are actually affiliate links. So even though it's going to content that is not, not driving opt-ins per se, even though it does drive opt-ins, it's, it's planting that, it's setting that cookie. So I know, for instance, on the first pre-launch, which was the podcast, Why Copywriting is the Most Valuable Skill in Any Business, we literally had thousands and thousands, I don't even remember the exact number, probably 4,000 or 5,000 cookies set. So that's 4,000 or 5,000 people out there in the universe right now who are enough interested in this copywriting thing that they clicked over to a podcast about copywriting. And that's 4,000 or 5,000 people that are now cookied. And if any of those people come back for the rest of their lives, as long as they use, the same computer, or if they opted in, they use the same email address, you're going to get credit for that. So that's what the pre-launch phase is. It's a warm up. Just to give you kind of a quick preview, we had the podcast, Why Copywriting is the Most Valuable Skill in Any Business. We just had the 5 profit producing truths copywriters know and you don't. Unless you listen to it, then you'll know them. And let's see, we got tomorrow, we have a blog post, the most famous sales letter you've never heard of. So you guys can send that one. And then we have a blog post on 10/5, the day before the pre-launch content one, which is the greatest persuasion secret known to humanity. Now, quick note, some of you have asked me, like, what should we do with this pre-launch? My suggestion is that you don't do dedicated emails unless you normally do that. Like, unless you normally share really cool content. I know I don't with my audience. Don't do a dedicated email for a podcast episode. That's, you got a limited number of emails you can send. Don't waste one of them, so to speak. But if you do a newsletter where maybe you do like a best of the web newsletter, or you do a blog post where it's like Ray does with his 6 link Saturdays, I think is what it's called, include it in there, share it on social media, maybe a little bit more than you normally would one podcast episode or one blog post. Maybe share it 2, 3, 4 times, post it on, Facebook and Twitter, et cetera, et cetera. So that's what I recommend, is you include it in a newsletter, or maybe in like a PS of an email, as a part of a blog post. Things like that are good ways to use the pre-launch content. Then we go into the pre-launch video number 1. Now this video, actually, I just got a notice like 10 minutes ago that the content is changing a little bit on video 1. So I won't go over that because I actually don't know what's in it, believe it or not. So Sean Edwards, Ray's son, told me what it is. I just forget now 10 minutes later. So I'll have to pull that up later. But then we have video 2, which is about the buyer's journey. And then PLC 3 is the copywriting blueprint. This is actually where Ray kind of really lays out the blueprint for how to write copy. And then on the 15th, we got the webinar, which is how to write a sales page that rakes in $10 million without being a copywriter. And even if you hate selling, I've actually been on this webinar. This webinar, I'll give you one quick statistic. I attended this webinar, and my average open rate, now some of you are going to be like, wow, Matt, that's really, really bad. Even on the second number, you might be like, that's really, really bad. Wow, you suck at this. My open rate prior to going to that webinar was like 3.8% on my emails. I'm sorry, click-through rate, not open rate. Oh, that would be terrible. My click-through rate was like 3.8%. The next 2 emails I sent after, all I did was go to that webinar and start applying what Ray taught on that webinar. I went to 8 and 7.8%, literally doubled my click-through rate. So just kind of a fun thing there. If if you're wondering, is that webinar of value? Absolutely. And then on 10/19, the early bird ends. 10/21, we're going to have more of the sales webinars, 2 live Q&A webinars. We'll add more if they fill up. And then on 10/22, we're closing the cart. So that's a little breakdown of the calendar. We'll talk a little bit more about that as we go along. But we're talking about best practices for affiliate promos. So the number one mistake I see with a lot of affiliates is that they think that, oh, I'm promoting this, which means I sent an email and I posted it to Twitter a few times. That's not an affiliate promo. Now, I get it. If your calendar's full and that's the best you can do, by all means, we welcome you to send one email and get them into PLC1 and we'll take over from there. Don't get me wrong about that. But if you want to make this your best affiliate promo ever, and that's why you're on this webinar, that's not going to work. And so if that's your objective, if your objective is not to make this your best affiliate promo ever, then just stop watching. I'm not going to, no harm, no foul, and come back, because I'm going to do these for other clients when you want to make that your best affiliate promo ever. But, here's the thing. One email, one blog post, one podcast episode, whatever, it's just not going to cut it. You've really, really got to stay in constant contact with your audience. It's important to keep up the excitement. It's important to build up. You're building up the anticipation now with the pre-launch. You're building up more excitement in the pre-launch phase, and then you got to stay on them during the during the open card phase. So one of the things that I'm working on that I'm going to present to you here, hopefully tomorrow, it very well could end up being over the weekend, and I'll put it in the affiliate center, which I'll show you, give you a tour of that in a little bit, is some mailing packages. So like, if you're in this to win it, and we'll talk about the contest in a little bit as well. If you're in this to win it, I've got a package for you. It's got 15 emails, like a 15 email sequence, which may sound like a lot, but that's how you win these things. If you're in it to like do really well, but maybe not win it, but you still want to make this your best promo ever, then I've got a 10 email package. If you're in this to just like, I don't necessarily want to make this my best ever, but I want to do really, really well, and I can't quite fully, engage, I've got a 5 email package as well. And so it just gives you some suggested times and what to email on those dates and how to break it down. But for now, no, the biggest thing is repeated contact. You want to promote each piece of the pre-launch content. You want to send at least 1 email, if not 2, about the webinar. You want to send the webinar replay. You want to tell them when the cart opens. You want to tell them about the bonuses. You want to send at least 2 deadline emails. You want to send probably 2 on the early bird and 2 or 3 on the final day. Ray talked about the PLF and how he was one of the top affiliates. And one of the lessons he learned was he sent 3. He sent 3 emails on the final day. Now, if you're worried about hitting up your list too much, one of the best ways to not worry about that is to segment your list. First of all, don't email your entire list. At least I don't do this, and I'm not giving you best practices and what I've learned from others. Don't email your entire list about everything, because you will get unsubscribes. I only email people personally for a promo that have been on my list more than 30 days. Now that you might do 15, you might do 60, I don't know, but whatever works best for you. But once you get into the open cart phase, if they haven't clicked on any of the pre-launch content by now, they're not interested in this subject. They're not interested in Ray, whatever it is. So by that point, just hammer the people that clicked. They're probably not going to unsubscribe. When I did Michael Hyatt's promotion a while back, and it was a huge promotion, and we ended up finishing 5th in that affiliate contest, which was really cool. I finished up there ahead of some big names. I had 7 unsubscribes during the entire launch. I had less unsubscribes during the month of me promoting it. And I think I sent like 11 emails to my list and wrote like 4 blog posts about it and mentioned it on every podcast episode. I had less unsubscribes during that month than I had in the previous month when I had no promos whatsoever. They were just getting my blog post content, which goes to show you anyway, that might be a lesson for me. So definitely repeated contact. Next thing you want to do is make sure you use different mediums. When I say send an email, you could easily replace that with write a blog post or do a podcast episode. Make sure you're talking about it. Make sure you're, a strategy might be that you're sending, an email on Monday and a blog post on Tuesday, or vice versa, that you're sharing it on Twitter and Facebook at least twice a day, maybe 3 times a day, but again, without being annoying. Sharing it on Pinterest, sharing it on Instagram, wherever you're active, make sure you share it there and just, get those little things. And so, yes, your hardcore fans that read your blog, read your emails, listen to your podcast, and follow you on 4 social media outlets, they're going to get tired of hearing about this, but they're your hardcore fans. They're not going to unsubscribe because you promote Ray Edwards Copywriting Academy. They're not. They might tune you out for a week while you're talking about it a lot. But the biggest thing is to make sure you're using different mediums. Next best practice, make it personal. Like I shared that story earlier about how I wrote, I attended this webinar, and the next, literally within 48 hours, I applied what I learned and my click-through rate doubled, and it's pretty much stayed there. I think it's up about 90% over time. So it hasn't quite stayed at better than double, but it's still a lot higher. It's definitely very profitable for me because of that. And so tell your own story. Like maybe you haven't gone through the course. Most of you should have the login. If you don't have my login, email me, matt@mattmcwilliams.com. I'm going to get you that login so you guys can go through this course and start applying what you're learning. Like here's a cool idea. Tell them that the emails that you're writing right now are as a result of going through the course. So if you don't have that login, again, email me, matt@mattmcwilliams.com, and I will get you that login. But the biggest thing is just talk about what copywriting has done for you. Maybe maybe 3 years ago, you tweaked a sales page. You hired a copywriter and you tweaked a sales page and it tripled your sales. And I think if you've been online long enough, maybe that's happened where or you tweaked a headline on a Facebook ad and it doubled your sales. So talk about that. Make it personal. Share your struggles. Make sure it's your personality, but ultimately make it personal. Bonuses. This is huge. The way to win, the way to make this your best affiliate promo ever is going to be to have your best bonus package ever. So think of what's something you can offer your audience that pushes them over the edge. We'll talk about it in a little bit, but the early bird price is $7.97. The ultimate price is $9.97. What's something that you can add that makes this a no-brainer for them? So if you are, let's just say you have a course out there that you normally sell for $297. Well, you're going to make a lot more than that, especially when you factor in prizes. You're going to make more than that when somebody buys Copywriting Academy through your affiliate link. So maybe you could bundle that in. And odds are, if they haven't bought that yet, they're probably not going to buy it, your $297 product. But it might be enough where they go, okay, that may not be worth $300 to me, but it's worth enough that it pushes me over the edge. I'm going to buy this. Make sure that it's tangential to Copywriting Academy. So it probably wouldn't be the best thing to include a bonus for Copywriting Academy, a cookbook that teaches you how to, make better Italian food, or a green juice Bible. That would make no sense whatsoever. So include something that actually makes sense. One thing that you can do, it's a great way to grow your email list, is if you have a video out there or a post out there that's getting some traffic and you offer a bonus, tell them that they have to email you the receipt. Make a form where they email you the receipt to get the bonuses, and have a checkbox that says subscribe to my email list. I've seen doing that, like 60% of the people will subscribe because they're obviously interested enough that they just spent $1,000 through you or whatever the amount is that they would have spent through, in the case of things that I've done. And about 6 out of 10 will actually opt in to my list. So it's kind of a cool way to, um, to get a little bit of list growth as well. And then another tip is take that list and segment it and then follow up with them. So basically, when the cart opens, which again is October 15th, and somebody buys through your link on October 15th, on October 16th, email that person and say, hey, would you mind sharing about this? Share with, just tell them to share with their friends, and you'll get some sales that we have. It's not huge, but you can get a few extra sales. Again, it's all about, if you're going to make this your best promo ever, it's all about squeezing like that next sale, and just getting a few extra sales. So the next thing after bonuses is to go big. Again, this goes back to the idea we talked about. If you're going to promote and you want to make this your best promo ever, you want to win the contest, you want to finish in the top 10 for the first time, you want to get your name on that leaderboard. Yeah, I cannot tell you how huge that was for not only my psyche, my my growth, my mental state, and how much of a confidence builder it was when I appeared on my first JV leaderboard. And I was up there. Funny, actually, I just thought about this. I never made the connection until just now. It was with Michael Hyatt's promo, and I finished, like I said, I finished 5th. And about a week later, I got a handwritten note from somebody I really respect. And I could tell it was, from him on the front. And I got really excited because it's somebody whose podcast I listened to every episode. And I was so stoked to get this handwritten letter. All it said was, hey, Matt, congratulations on a great performance in the best year ever JV promo. Signed, Ray Edwards. And that was actually one of the ways that Ray and I first connected. And so getting on those leaderboards can be a big deal. It gets your name out there. And if you want to do that, you got to go big. So that, again, that means more than one email. That means multiple emails. And it's a psyche. It's a mental state that says, I'm going big on this. I'm going to dedicate a couple of weeks to talking about this subject, to emailing people, to not being afraid to email them multiple times, not being afraid of, oh, what if somebody unsubscribes? I love Derek Halpern's philosophy on this. If somebody unsubscribes from you because you're selling something, don't let the door hit you on the way out. Just get them on the fast track, the little thing you walk on when you're at the airport, the little moving sidewalk, like give them one of those out the door. I don't know about you, but I pay for my subscribers on MailChimp. I have enough now that I have to pay for them. So when somebody leaves because I'm selling something, good, you just saved me 2 cents a month. What do I lose when you unsubscribe? Nothing. I don't lose anything. So go big and sell with authority. That's a big thing. Like, don't sell scared. Sell with authority. This is a killer course. I've already told you what the webinar did for me, let alone I'm going to get into how this course has helped me personally. And I know it's helped others. So don't sell scared. Just sell with authority. Because the weird thing is, when you sit down to sell with authority, just like if you ever talk to a salesman on the phone and they sell scared, you can tell it in their voice. They can tell it in your writing. So sell with authority. This is something you should be proud of. If you're not proud of this course, don't even send one email. Only promote this course if you're proud of it. And if you are proud of it, then promote like you're proud of it. Lastly, have a plan. I mentioned I'm going to get those plans for you. You can use those plans, make up your own plans. The biggest thing is sit down in advance and say, I'm emailing this day, this day, this day. I'm writing a blog post this day. I'm sending this many tweets on this day. Here's what I'm writing. Here's my plan. And then, yes, the plan can evolve, but just have one. What is it? Jeff Walker was just talking about this in the first PLF webinar. George Patton was something like, a mediocre plan violently executed is better than a great plan that's, not executed on, of course. But both of those had a plan. Both of those had a plan. So have a plan. All right. While I take a sip there, I'm going to go over here. Let me exit out of this and give you guys a tour of the affiliate system. And we'll talk about that. If you have any questions, type them over there in the chat box. I know a bunch of you set questions beforehand, so I've got a ton of them at the end. But if you have any questions now as we go along, type them in the chat box. I'm trying to keep an eye on there without getting too distracted and having my entrepreneurial ADD kick in. And I'll give you, but anyway, see, it just kicked in right there. So if you have questions, go over there in the chat box and type them in. And right now I'm going to give you a quick tour of the affiliate system. When you log in here, this is what it looks like when you log in. Here's your stats over here. Hey, look, I have earned $0 in this launch. Can you believe it? I have exactly 0 clicks and 0 opt-ins. That's amazing, right? But it's actually because I'm logged into an admin account. So a lot of you, there are a few of you with that clicks number is 1,000 plus right now. And a lot of you where that clicks number is 50 plus. So that's awesome. And there are a bunch of you with getting close to triple digits opt-ins. A lot of you at low double digits and single digits. Phenomenal. We're not even in the launch yet. Like, did I mention that this is the pre-launch? So awesome stuff. But that's your stats. You go back to that homepage anytime. Down here's my email, my phone number, Mark's email and phone number. If you don't know Mark, Scott, I think you might, Scott Barlow, who's on, I think you might know Mark. You may or may not have used to do a podcast with him. Anyway, he's a good dude. And if you can't get me, get him, email and phone number, text me, call me, send smoke signals, whatever you need to do. Just one note, it says here, the stats are updated approximately every 15 minutes. We're calling the Infusionsoft backend API. And we don't want to do that every minute because it will bog down our system. So if you click on your affiliate link, go over and refresh this page and there's not a click there, don't freak out. It's totally working. 15, maybe upwards of 30 minutes. That's about how long it takes. So one of the questions we got actually in advance, I'll just cover it while I'm here, was that I'm doing a bonus. Good, we just talked about that. Thinking about giving bonuses to those who enroll in Copywriting Academy through my link. So I'm wondering, is there an easy way for me to find out who enrolls in Copywriting Academy via my link? Yes, right here, once this puppy starts. So once the cart is open, you're going to see a big old button for a CSV file. You can download that CSV file, and that will be all the information you need to be able to email people about bonuses. So we'll go through real quick. That's the homepage. This is your links. Now, I want to point out something because I'm in the admin side. There is no thing at the end here that has your affiliate ID. That will normally be there. So just trust me on that. That is normally there. If your affiliate ID is A123, then it's going to say A123 there. And Scott says, I know, Mark, just a bit. Smoke signals on the way. Nice. Cool thing about this, we just designed it so you can literally Control A, Control C, or if you're one of those fancy people who's on a Mac, and I swear if Ray gives me crap about not being on a Mac one more time, I might punch him. I hope he's on this. Anyway, no, I am on Windows, believe it or not, if you couldn't tell. And there are pills for that. But anyway, whatever that fancy stuff you do on the Mac there is, you can easily copy the links out of there. So all these other links are coming soon. And here's your affiliate referral link. By the way, one of the questions we got asked was, is there a way for people, what was it they asked? I have a friend that would be good to promote this. How do I get them signed up as an affiliate? Is there any benefit to me doing so? Absolutely. Use this link right here. Again, your affiliate ID will be at the end of that. Copy that bad boy, send it to him, or just introduce him to me if you want to. That's actually the best way often. Just say, hey, I want to introduce Matt McWilliams, the affiliate manager for Ray Edwards. I think you'd be a great affiliate for his launch. Either one works. You can do both. And you get 10% of what they earn. So, yes, Mark does have a Mac, Scott. I know. He rubs it in every day. All right, so that's your links. If you want some information on the course, go here. Got some good stuff about the course. Again, full price $997. Early bird price is $797. It's got a breakdown of the modules, so you can check that out as well. It's got a pretty good breakdown there. Here's the promo calendar, which we've already talked about a little bit, but it's got your link for each piece of the promo calendar, and it's got a little bit of a description. Again, this part is going to change right here. This PLC 1 is what I just found out. So it's got a breakdown of what each piece of PLC content is, the early bird offer, the 19th, et cetera, et cetera. So that's the calendar. Some of the stuff we just went over is actually on this page here if you want a written version, as well as if you didn't see it, Ray shot a video and he talked about what he learned from being a top affiliate on the PLF launch recently, Jeff Walker's launch. Some cool lessons in there. So check that out. And then some of what we just talked about is down there as well if you want to recap, if you missed anything from this webinar. On the affiliate tools section and view your stats, marketing plan, we got banners coming soon. So stay tuned. They're coming really soon. That was one of the questions we had was, are there going to be graphics for this? And yes, there will be. I've also shown you how to create a custom tracking link. The reason why you might want to do this, just FYI, is let's say that you are promoting, I'm just going to use an example. You're promoting PLC1 and you're promoting it via blog post and via email. And you want to track and see like, what's the click-through rate? What's the conversion rate? How much money do I make from each of those? You would want to set up custom links. That is not through our affiliate system. It's through the back end of Infusionsoft. All of this system here is powered by Infusionsoft, but you'll log into Infusionsoft. Most of the time, I've tested this out, 9 times out of 10, it depends on how long you've been logged in, basically. You're going to, when you click this link here to Infusionsoft, it's going to log you in automatically. But again, if you've been logged in for a while, I think it's like, 10 or 15 minutes, then it'll log you out. And you'll have to log in again to Infusionsoft. But that's how you create a custom tracking link, and that's under affiliate tools. Swipe copy. This is all the swipe copy when this page loads. It's going to be awkward if it takes 30 seconds because I don't know what I'm going to talk about for these 30 seconds. And we wait. I should have opened these up in advance. I'm going to open up the contest page, the rules page, and the FAQ page. Tell you what, we'll go over to house rules. If you want to read the rules over there, I mean, there's really nothing. The biggest one that we usually have to possibly make sure people know about is don't use Ray's image or likeness in paid advertising. So don't say you're Ray. Don't pretend you're Ray. Don't use Ray's picture. Otherwise, we're good. All right, so swipe copy. Here's what you need here. You want to click on each thing. So click on the link. It'll drop down your suggested subject lines, the body copy. I know this one has 3 or 4 versions, 4 versions. We got some social media copy. Again, you can just go right in, Control A or whatever you do on Mac. This will normally be your affiliate link. Again, there would be a link at the end, but I'm in the admin side, so it doesn't show that part. But that's how you view each piece. You can go down here, drop down for 3, drop down for the webinar. Now, open cart. Oh, look, coming soon because we haven't put those in yet. So we'll put those in soon. The biggest thing I would say is if given the choice between sending 10 emails where all you did was copy and paste and 8 where you personalized them, I would choose the 8. I'm a big believer in emailing frequently. I'm a big believer in posting frequently on social media, but you want to make sure this is in your voice. So I know what I do personally when I'm using swipe copy is I take a look at the subject lines and I pick the one that sounds most like me, and then I tweak it. Or I don't. If I really, if I really like it, like I like this one, copywriting is dead. That would be a good, why your sales will tank. That's a good one for me, personally. And so what I would do is I copy, let's say I'll take 2 versions that I like. I'll copy both of them, paste them over in my, HTML editor, and then pick and choose the parts that I like and then just kind of rewrite it in my own voice, or I come up with my own theme. But typically the best emails, the best performing emails that I've had in the past have been things that I thought of on my own. I'm promoting someone else's course right now, and I had this vision out of nowhere. I was reminded of Field of Dreams. And so the subject line was, if you build it, then what? And I just wrote about, like, I was in the hospital. We just had our daughter. Field of Dreams came on. For those who don't know my story, my dad died 10 years ago. Having a new baby and watching Field of Dreams is a very emotional time when you have lost your father. And I just wrote about that experience and then tied it into that promo. And that was one of the best performing pieces of content that I've ever written. So yes, use the swipe copy by all means. That's what it's there for. But tweak them. If you think of an idea, an angle that's completely not related to the swipe copy, use it. This swipe copy is not suggesting you must say these exact words. That's not the point. Make it your own. If you have any questions, here's the FAQ page. Just click on any of those and it'll drop down. I'm not going to cover any of those because they're FAQs, so you'll get them there. For the contest, skip over there. As you can see, $40,000 in cash and prizes. We have 2 contests. We have an opt-in or leads contest. There's going to be 5 winners for that, as you can see. $3,000 first prize, $2,000, and so on and so forth, down to $500 for 5th place. Basically, most opt-ins, you're getting $3,000 or that killer TV right there. That thing is gigantic. I don't even know where I'd put that. So maybe I'd want to finish second. No, I just take the cash personally. But anyway, I'm not in it, so don't worry. Sales contest. Basically, he or she with the most sales wins. First prize, $7,500 cash, or a prize that is worth a little bit more than $7,500. Trust me, it's a pretty cool thing. We went with the VIP Final Four experience, and I was reading about it the other day. Like literally, you get somebody that has coached in the Final Four to they're your host, and you get a suite, all 3 games to the Final Four next year. People coming in to the thing. I was reading about one of them. It was like Oscar Robertson, if you know basketball, Oscar Robertson, Magic Johnson, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Bill Walton, and Christian Laettner, was one of the people they had. So if you're a Kentucky fan, sorry, Christian Laettner might be there. And anyway, I don't like Duke or Kentucky, but so that's pretty cool. 4 nights deal for 2 people. Really, really cool. We'll fly you there. And then, you got Caribbean cruise, some cool things. This Ultimate Mac Pack, which I think is pretty cool. Had to get at least 1 Windows product in there, I guess, that felt obliged for some reason. Some really cool prizes, and obviously the cash equivalents as well. So that's the affiliate system. Real quick, I also want to show you something. If you're on the webinar page right now, so somehow you're on the webinar page, there's this checklist down here. And I want to point that out to you. If you open that, if you click on send me the checklist, it just opens right up. It's a checklist for everything that you could possibly do in this launch. I know if you're like me, if I don't make a checklist, I talked about having a plan earlier. If I don't make a checklist, I'm going to forget something. So if I don't make this checklist and we get to, whatever, open cart, I'll forget to email on open cart day, or maybe I'll email, but I'm going to forget to mention it on the podcast, or I'm going to forget to mention it in Periscope that day. Or I'm going to forget to share it on LinkedIn. And so you want to continue, it says continue to share each day of the open cart. When you get to this one here, you want to keep doing that, rinse and repeat. So it's a nice little checklist, easy to use. Hopefully you guys find that useful. So go back over here, and we're not there. Epic fail. Epic fail here. All right. Questions. If you guys have any questions, I know I'm going to cover some that I got via email here, but if you have any questions, one of the questions from Scott was, how are you not on a Mac? I have no idea. I ask myself that question every day, and I take pills for it, Scott. What is the return period? It was 30 days. What's the EPC from affiliates in the past? It's approximately $11.60. That's earnings per click. So again, this is going to be our biggest launch ever with Ray. Obviously, that could swing a little bit one way or the other. I'm hoping it's higher. I think it's going to be higher. I'm confident that it's going to be higher, and we're going to do everything we can to get that higher. But in the past, it's been 11.6%. Can I interview Ray and win? Good question. The answer is yes, with very limited availability. So basically, I'd say probably the first, I know we scheduled a bunch already, probably the next 3 people that email me, matt@mattmcwilliams.com, are going to get hooked up with an interview with Ray if you want to interview him for your podcast or for other use, a video interview or something you can post on your blog. And let's see. When do I get paid for the sales I make? Approximately 45 days after the cart close. That allows for that 30-day return period, and there's just a little bit of time for us to process things, double check. One of the things we're going to do after the cart closes, we're actually going to go through and check all the sales that do not tie to an affiliate and make sure that they we often find that there's a few stragglers in there, and so they cleared their cookies, but they're or they they used a new email address, but we can somehow trace them back some other way, and tie them back to you, or they I don't know, whatever the reasons are. So we'll actually do that, and that does take it takes like a week or so to go through, but we'll kind of go through those. And so that's another reason why it takes an extra 15 days or so. We're not trying to make you wait too long, and if we can pay you on day 41, we will, trust me. Is there any way to send people straight to a sales page? Yep. In the swipe copy earlier, on that swipe copy page, there's a link there for sales page. And don't use that until October 15th. There's a reason why we haven't rolled it out yet. We don't want anybody going straight to the sales page right now because we want them to go through the funnel. So definitely wait for that. Can you define pre-launch? Actually, funny. That's kind of what I was just talking about. Pre-launch is the free video training that Ray's doing. Sort of went through that earlier with, there's 3 videos and then a webinar, and that is pre-launch. So launch day technically would be the cart open day of October 15th. The pre-launch starts on October 6th. And so that's when we give away tons of value. We're collecting as many opt-ins as we possibly can. What brings me, for those of you who don't know, one of the questions we got, like, what's an opt-in? Like, can you actually define that? Opt-in is they gave us their email address. They opted in to the free training. What classifies as an opt-in? Yeah, that's that. So let's see. I have a friend that I can answer that one earlier. Tell me more about the contest. Well, basically, if you remember the page I showed, and again, you can log into your account and go to the contest tab, to the contest link, and first 5 prize places on, and by the way, guest 178, I hope that answered your question about what I meant by pre-launch. If it didn't, tell me in the chat box and I'll talk longer about it. But the contest, yeah, I mean, the first 5 places in the opt-in contest get those prizes. So you finish first, you get that, gigantic TV that is a monstrosity that you probably can see from space, and the $3,000. If you finish 5th, you get I think it was an iPad Air 2, iPad Mini, something like that, or $500 or $750 or whatever it was. I forget. Don't even remember my own prizes. And then if you are in in the sales contest, again, first prize is that final 4 package, or the $7,500. So it's $40,000 total, and some awesome prizes. Yeah, it was the iPad Air 2. I think down there we got like another MacBook and MacBook Air, Apple Watch, Apple iPad Mini, Amazon Echo, even right down to a Fitbit Flex, which I'm wearing right now, and pretty cool. I like the Fitbit Flex. So it's not super fancy, but I like it. Can I offer someone bonuses through my link? Yes, absolutely. We talked about that earlier. Can I send traffic to these links after the launch period, or is it only available during the launch time? This is actually, some courses, some launches that we run, which that answers the other question. Do you do this for other people? Yes, we do. Don't want to really talk about on this one, but yes, we do. And what was I on? So available. Yeah. Some of the stuff that we do is quote unquote evergreen, meaning it's available 365, 24/7, 365. This is not, this is a genuine cart close on the 22nd. So like on the 23rd, it's not available. So there is a sense of urgency. It's not false scarcity. We're opening enrollment and then we're closing it. So Ray can really help these people when they get in. There's a lot of, touch. This is a high touch thing, and we want to give them the most value possible. And, Ray cannot do this every week, 52 weeks a year. He could, I just don't think he would be sane. And, yeah, so that definitely want to promote this during this period. When the cart closes, it really is closed. Midnight Pacific time on October 22nd. Like you come on at 3:14 Eastern time in the morning on the 23rd, you cannot buy this. So you definitely want to promote this during that. That's when we say 3 emails in the last day. To give you kind of a breakdown, And this is in that checklist that I showed you. So if you're on the webinar page right now, you're on the replay page. If you're watching this in replay, go down, grab that checklist. Talk about, you want a kind of a morning one, and like a mid-afternoon, and then an evening, or even possibly like an 8 or 9 p.m. one. I did a promo a while back, and the single most effective email I sent, because I forgot, because I didn't have a checklist. Like, I don't follow my own advice very well. So, and I forgot to do an early bird email. I wanted to send one at like 6 p.m. The early bird deadline coming up tonight. And I just forgot about it. And I'm like sitting on the couch. It's probably 8:45 at night. And I looked at my wife and I'm like, crap, oh man, I forgot to send the email. So like ran in, I wrote what I thought was probably mediocre copy, because I wrote it in 15 minutes. And, but I sent that email, and I sent it at like 9:26 at night. So kind of an odd time. I had a huge conversion on that email. I mean, I think we moved, a couple $1,000s worth of stuff. So that really can work. Yeah. So, I mean, again, that late night email can definitely work. Where can I find out how much money I have earned? That's on the stats page, on the welcome page. As soon as you log in, over on the right side there, I showed earlier. What days should I email my list? Generally speaking, if you normally email your list on Monday, Wednesday, Fridays, email them on Monday, Wednesday, Fridays. With the exception of maybe, cart open, early bird, cart close, and anything else that actually is time bound. Sometimes you want a pattern disrupt. Sometimes it's effective. Like if you normally email Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and suddenly you email on a Tuesday, or you normally email at 7 a.m. Eastern, and suddenly you email at, 1 o'clock in the afternoon, or 9:26 p.m. It's a pattern disrupt. Like, whoa, wait, this must be really important. And especially, like I said, it's great to schedule things. I think if that email had gone out at 6 p.m., I probably still would have made 5 sales, but instead I made like 13. And I think those extra 8 possibly came because it was just at such a weird time, such an unusual time. So, what days should I email? Again, stick to your schedule, but occasionally disrupt the pattern. I know that's kind of broad advice. Again, we'll have some advice in those mailing plans. Will there be more email templates sent out? Yes, we're going to put a bunch more on the site, and we'll be emailing those in the email that I send out as well. As we get closer, we'll be emailing, we'll keep fresh swipe copy in those emails. So whatever's next is going to be there. Let's see, will there be, yeah, okay. I basically answered that question earlier. So I think that's it. I think the last thing I would say is I just want to give some encouragement. And, oh, by the way, I'm glad I answered your question. So if you do have any other questions, shoot them over there in the chat box. The last thing I'll wrap up with is, if you're a smaller affiliate, you know what I mean? Maybe you have 1,000 people on your email list, or, just a couple of thousand. I want to inspire you real quick. I want to encourage you, because again, everybody's definition of this is going to be my best promo ever is different. For some of you, like I said, that's 6 figures. And for some of you, that's 5 figures. For some of you, it's 4, for me, it's just making a sale. Like, I just want a commission. I mean, I'll tell you the quick story again, and I've mentioned it before, but last year, December of last year, I had a very small email list, very, very small. I'd never done a big affiliate promo before, but earlier that year, I had promoted Michael Hyatt's, and this isn't a plug for him, but I had promoted his course. And I remember I set the goal. I was like, if I can make 2 sales, now 2 sales is worth like $150 in commissions. And I was like, if I can make 2 sales, I'll be pretty happy, because that's proof of concept. Like, I can make 2 sales. I can monetize my blog. Like, cool. And I remember he didn't have a stats thing like he does now, and like we do. So there was no affiliate section. I had no idea how many sales I made. The launch ended, like a week or 2 goes by, and I get an email from Susie, his assistant, and she said, I need your PayPal email address. I'm like, yes, I made some sales. I wonder if I made 2 or 3, maybe I made 4. And I was like, so excited. And like 4 weeks later, I get a notice, and it says, you have $586 from PayPal. And I was like, 586, about average of 75 per sale. Like, okay, wait, oh, I did the math on that. I'm like, that's a good number of sales. And I was so stoked. I remember I called my wife and I'm like, look, I mean, look how much money I made. And the funny thing was we had just received a check from a client like that day, or a deposit from a client like that day or the day before, worth approximately 35 times that amount. And yet I was excited about that $586 because that $586 represented something that I had been working towards. Fast forward 1 year later, I finished fifth in that same affiliate contest and made a little bit over $13,000. So the point of all that is to say, if you're small, don't worry about it. Like whatever your goal is, sell 2, sell 10, whatever you can. Treat this like you're big. The reason why I made 586 was because I treated it like I was big, even though I may have not had that mindset. And the reason why a year later I was able to do as well as I did was because I had learned those lessons the year before. So think like you're big, go big or go home, and don't worry about being small. Some of the best affiliates that we work with, some of the most engaged and excited affiliates end up with the best customers are the ones with 3,000 people on their email list. And they email 10 times versus the one time for the guy with 30,000. Mathematically, you would think the 30,000 person would make more than the 3,000 person, but not if that 3,000 person is more engaged. That's what's important. That is what is the most valuable thing, is just your level of engagement. And again, it's not about bombarding your list, but it's about telling them how excited you are about this course. So guys, I'm excited about this course. This is going to be an awesome, awesome launch. I'm pumped up. Ray's pumped up. His team is pumped up. And we're here to help. So again, matt@mattmcwilliams.com, or go to the affiliate section. Look there. You'll see my phone number. And I'll talk to you guys soon. We're going to wrap this up. So if you have any other questions, email me, and I'm super glad to help. But thanks so much for attending, and we'll be in touch. See you guys.